Hey everyone, and welcome back. In the last episode, I told you about how I discovered trading and why I thought it could completely change my life. At that point, I genuinely thought I have found a shortcut. A few trades, a bit patience, and maybe I never had to work a regular job ever again. So, I joined a copy trading community. Before getting an access to the trading signals, I had to go through their beginner course. It explained the basics of trading, how the platform worked, how to calculate position size, and how to execute signals correctly. I actually loved that. It wasn't just a Telegram group full of signals. There was a structure behind it, and I wanted to understand everything before risking my own money. I watched every video, I've set up a trading account, I downloaded all the apps, went through all of the tutorials, and after completing everything, I was finally added into the trading groups. There was a one group where only analysts were able to provide signals and send messages. Another where members could communicate on different topics, and a third one filled with educational content for beginners. I was excited. I felt like I'm finally part of something. And then Monday came. I couldn't wait for market to open. I remember waking up and immediately checking Telegram. Signal was already sent, and I've slept through it. I was disappointed, but I told myself there must be another opportunity today. Later that day, when I was at work, another notification came from Telegram. I checked it when nobody was looking. The first take profit had been hit. Without hesitation, I opened the Telegram. I looked for the signal that was sent earlier that morning. I've calculated my risk, lot size, and I entered the trade. Few minutes later, I've checked my phone again. The trade was in profit. It was around €80, and I remember thinking, maybe this really is easy as everyone was saying. And a few moments later, everything changed. The initial profit disappeared and the position went negative. Minus 300, then minus 700. I wasn't angry, I wasn't even panicking. I was just staring at my screen, trying to understand what I'm even looking at. I kept thinking, this doesn't even make any sense. I had calculated my risk, and I was only supposed to lose €50 if the stop loss got hit. So why was my account almost gone? In the middle of that thought process, stop loss got hit. My balance dropped to zero. €1,000 gone. I just stared at my phone. I honestly couldn't understand what just happened. I was convinced I had followed every step correctly, but I hadn't. Later that day, after calming down a little, I've contacted the community support. I've actually started writing a message in which I was explaining them what actually happened, but after a few minutes I've deleted it. I felt really embarrassed. How do you tell someone you blew your whole account in your ever first trade? About half an hour later, I realized I wouldn't get to the conclusion all by myself. So I wrote that message down again, but this time I pressed send. After that communication with the support, I've actually understood that I didn't make one mistake, but I've made two serious mistakes. The first one was miscalculating my position size, because there's a difference between forex pairs and gold when calculating pips. The second was even worse. I completely misunderstood the instructions attached to signal. The original plan was to move stop loss to break even once the original TP target 1 got hit. Because I entered late without understanding the instructions under the signal, I've entered with the outdated stop loss. People that followed the signal correctly went out at break even, and I've lost my entire account. That was one of the most expensive lessons I've learned. But surprisingly, I wasn't feeling ready to quit, because despite losing €1,000, I knew mistakes were mine. Not markets, not communities, mine. So instead of giving up, I decided to learn from it. I just didn't realize my biggest mistake is still ahead of me.